Alright, so let's look at some of our options against some of Heihachi's tools. We're going to start off with 1 back 2 because I feel like this is the move that people are going to, latch onto since it comes from a jab. So we're just going to look at some options that Leo has when it comes to dealing with this. And just so you get an early understanding of the things that you can do, in this matchup. So let's take a look. So 1 back 2, stance transition into an electric. So firstly, I just want to mention that 1 back 2 allows us enough time to heat burst, and it also allows us enough time to sabaki or parry. So that's an option, of course. I'm going to show you what that looks like very quickly. So when I do 1 back 2, I'm going to obviously intervene. So heat burst, sabaki, and of course whatever your preferred pickup is. Obviously mine is a bit different to yours probably, but yeah. So that's 1 back 2, and then obviously you have 1 back 2 into the cancel, in which case you can step, and of course this is on block. But yeah, sidestep right kind of seems, rather strong against this kind of situation. So on hit, the options change a little. You have down back 3. Again, you can parry, but your movement options kind of go out the window. So if you want to be patient, you can still kind of get rewarded for it with a 10 frame punish, which is, it's better than nothing. So that's one situation. Then we talk about also 1 back 2 isn't natural, so bear that in mind. So this isn't a string that's gonna just body you, if it hits. It's not a punisher or anything like that. So yeah, dealing with the situation on block is for the most part what you're gonna be doing. Now you have a transition that, okay, so this is on block now. So if I sidestep right, I have enough time to block as well. What happens if you try and just press? So if you try and mash the wrong move, you can kind of just get absolutely bodied in this scenario. On hit, again, it's another situation where you might want to parry, but any kind of evasive move or anything will get snuffed. So this move is quite good for what it does. So yeah, this move here doesn't really have too much of a particular counter. I guess you could maybe jab to stop it. Okay, it doesn't even stop it. So yeah, it's just a situation you're gonna have to play into a bit differently every time, I feel like. Obviously you can use lows to kind of snuff it, generic low or something like that, just a fast option to deal with it. But then on hit, it is kind of free for them to do, because evasive tools won't work, parries will work, but yeah, that's for you to kind of try out, I guess. Let's move on to the next one. So 1 back 2 into a mid-high string, in which case you can obviously launch. Obviously on hit, there is nothing you can do about the situation. You just have to guess. I'm not sure how scary. Is it high? Oh my, okay. Never mind. Okay, it's high. I actually didn't know that. Do you have the frames to parry? You don't have the frames to parry. But yeah, you can obviously duck. Doesn't seem too scary to duck. I'm trying to see the other options. So something like a sidestep right duck actually wouldn't be too bad as a option, like on block, because you'll be avoiding so many things. But that's on block. I'm not too sure about on hit. The situation, it'll be a good transition on hit, of course. But yeah, sidestep right duck for the most part is seeming like a kind of go-to play here, and I'm going to show you why as well as we get to the later recordings, because you're going to see some interesting things. Going to the next one, 1 back 2, and if you look at the command history on the left, you're going to see that I'm trying to step, and the move actually jails. So after blocking the second part, you will not get hit by the follow-up. And I don't know if they intended this. They might change this later down the line, but this is kind of like Heihachi's Rage Drive in Tekken 7, where I believe the same thing would have happened. So it jails. If you try and do sidestep right duck, you're going to block regardless, so there's no problem. You can always get your punish in. Yeah, nothing tricky about dealing with that. Here's where it gets a bit trickier, I guess, because there's a move like this that does chip. Yeah, you can jab float. You got some time to do that. You can obviously power crush, heat burst, even though it's not in your favor, and you can obviously step left as well. I think you have to walk. Yeah, so you can walk to the left to beat this. But then obviously you want to make sure you're keeping tabs of all the other options that he actually has available. And then you also have back 1, 2, 1, which will obviously snuff all movement. But this is a combo ender. This isn't something that's just going to come out. But if it does come out, launch punishable. Into, full combo, whatever the case may be. But I just want to make sure I've covered every option very quickly. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the stance, like the stance transition stuff, like, you know, doing stance into wave dash, because that's just gonna, there's too many layers to think about, do you know what I mean? You know, at that point, you know, it really just is, you know, wave dash mix, you know, hell sweep, while standing 4, while standing 1, you know, that type of stuff. So that's like the generic guess game against Heihachi, you know, it's not gonna deter you from doing, you know, side step right duck and things like that. So I think you wanna focus on their immediate options first and see what they're going for. If they start, you know, doing the hell sweep stuff, then, you know, just take it for what it is. You know, it's risky at the end of the day. If he does hell sweep, it's launch punishable on block. But yeah, this isn't the only thing I'm gonna talk about. So let's get into the next segment. Okay, so just to add a few more details onto Heihachi's back 1-2 situation on block. I'd just like to show a few more options and then obviously talk about the frame advantage on block and stuff like that. So let's do it. So 1 back 2 into unbreakable throw. As you're going to see, I'm pressing 1+2, but I can't break the throw. But again, side step right duck. We'll also deal with this option. And then obviously full launch. So far so good on the side step right duck department. So this is 1 back 2 into 1-1-2. This was a very common like flowchart in Tekken 7, I feel like. They would obviously disrespect at -2. Very normal to do because people might want to challenge with a down forward 1 or a down forward 4 or just an I-13 check, you know what I mean? In this game, it seems a lot easier to sidestep his jabs. So for the most part, you can still kind of just step right after it and, you know, not really worry about too many things. The only thing I would say, just to add a little, you know, layer to it nice and early, is that they might do things like 1 back 2 and then a quick homing move like back 3. Just to stop you like doing committal side steps like that. You know, either side. But yeah, step, side step duck again. And just like kind of being aware of the scenario can still get you a pretty nice advantage. Puts you in crouch, so obviously you're gonna get your Waston for 1+2 punish off. Another situation just to keep in mind really. And then obviously 1 back 2 by itself, like I said, the 1-1-2 Abare challenging is obviously, you know, pretty good. So I think that's about it with 1 back 2. I'm not sure if there's anything I've really missed. Can have a quick look. So yeah, 1+2. Well, sorry. It's like generic throw from that stance, like 1+3, 2+4. But yeah, unbreakable. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Let's get on to the next one. For the most part, what I want to do is make sure you guys understand the potential of Heihachi's stances when you do face him, so that you kind of get an idea of how you should go about being defensive when, you know, in these said situations. So another situation I'm going to obviously let you guys take a look at is, you know, his transition into, I believe it's called Thunder God's Kamai. So this is the other stance now that he has. So we're going to look at the transitions and just see kind of what they have to offer. I'm going to obviously look at them on hit and on block and just kind of see what they do, so that you can generally, you know, get used to it as you get more experience fighting against the character and, you know, seeing which moves transition into what moves, you know, over time, because it won't happen straight away. You know, with time you'll understand whether it's wise to duck sometimes, whether it's wise to, you know, just stand and, you know, take chip damage or, you know, those type of things. So let's play through the sequences. So we have down 1-2 stance transition into a Shoryuken, and of course this is probably okay. So this is a true high crush, as I expected, to be honest. So like if you do a grab, if you do any type of high, this move will win. That's all good. That's good to know. On block, -11, and you can side step to the left, I believe, but you can't step to the right. Yeah, so to the right, completely tracking. And then you go for whatever combo you want. Let's get on to the next move. So we have down 1-2 again. And now we have a guard break. Obviously, you can challenge, you can press. You know, down forward 1 as well. Down forward 4, whichever you like. But if you try and step, you're going to get hit by the homing guard break. So far with the options that I've put on the table, you probably want to step left and duck. if you want to beat those first two options. But as we progress and see which other options are available, you know, we're going to see what really, you know, makes sense to do, right? So let's also look at it on hit though. So down 1-2 on hit, what is it? It's plus 13. We have the option to down back 3, but because he's plus 13, we won't be able to land a parry because our parries all start up in 5 frames and there's only 4 frames of leeway. So no parry, but down back 3 is a hard read that we have available after eating down 1-2. So just bear that in mind. Obviously you can duck as well. You can't step or anything like that, so you know that's out of the window. Very dangerous on hit, that's for sure. I-16 attack as well, so you know can definitely be used as a good whiff punisher. Okay, now we're going on to hell sweep now. So you can actually sidewalk this to the left. I don't think you can go right at all, but yeah, you can step this to the left and obviously get a full reward. Please get in the lab and practice doing this yourself, because I don't want you to like step immediately and just get clipped. It can happen, obviously depending on axis and things like that. So yeah, I don't want you guys to think I'm selling you a dream. Obviously depending on character as well, it might be harder to step, but yeah, obviously if you make the read and you duck, full launch, full combo. You know, that's just a hell sweep, just a mix. You know, if you respect them and you take the mix, that's on you. I guess I should show it on hit as well. You know, on hit, yep, you just have to guess. No hop kicks. Yeah, you just have to guess. Okay, so we have another option now, which is obviously down 1-2 starts transition into what looks like Heihachi's down 3. Don't really know too much about this move really, or you know the situation that this move creates. It almost looks like it should be a power crush attack, but it just isn't. But yeah, so safe and I guess chip damage. Okay, so chip damage and -7. Okay, cool. Pushback as well. Interesting. What did they do on here actually? Okay, so knockdown and maybe a guaranteed hit. Okay, and now you have a throw. A steppable throw since it's a command throw. So that's good to know. Get to step around it, full launch. On hit, obviously you're not going to get that luxury because it's so plus. Is it unbreakable? Okay, it is unbreakable as well. Unbreakable broken toy. They absolutely cooked with that. I'm not going to lie to you. They absolutely cooked with that. That is outrageous. That's outrageous. I like it though. I definitely like it. I think that's really cool. So I feel like I've shown the options that kind of go into the other stance. Obviously, I haven't showed all the moves that transition into the other stances and stuff like that. But, you know, I just want you guys to see the different stances and get an idea of what the best options might be. So when dealing with the Thunder God Kamai, I believe it's called. Just going to make sure I'm not waffling. Thunder God's Kamai. You're going to want to step left sometimes. Step left and duck if you want to avoid the guard break. That's really it, honestly. Like, there's no reason to really step right. And of course, on block, you can mash sometimes, but you know, bear in mind that the Shoryuken high crushes, so you won't be able to get comfortable, you know, doing jabs, magic fours, things like that. But checking with the down forward 1 is like just a no-brainer. Literally a no-brainer on block. But on hit, you know, you need to just deal with the immediate options and just take it for what it is. It's Tekken 8, it's a game full of mixing, and you're going to get mixed. Like that's just how it goes. With the other stance, you know, side step right duck was pretty great, honestly. You know, because even with the whole Abari thing that I mentioned with 1 back 2 being -2, and then people would challenge with 1-1-2, you know, you can still step right and it doesn't really cause too many problems. And step right duck to beat the, you know, the quick homing high that he actually has with back 3. Yeah, that's 2 very good ways of, you know, dealing with these stances, you know, nice and early, and then getting a feel for all of the characters' other moves. Obviously, he's going to have a lot of other neutral moves that are, you know, maybe tricky to deal with. You know, you got to find out what side to step and things like that. So we're going through it, you know, bit by bit. We'll definitely get there. So I'm going to try and find like the most busted moves and just, you know, give you guys an idea in this video, of course. So yeah, let's get into the next segment. So I think that with the nerf to Heihachi's neutral buttons, like 1-1 and also down forward 1, think these two changes here are a very big deal because, you know, they don't really get big reward for finishing the 1-1-2. There's no counter hit property or anything like that. You know, if they finish it, they just get launched. Cool. That might make you want to press more, and the 1-1-2 might hit you more, but inevitably the risk reward is very much in your favor. Like, I can just throw out a down forward 2 and it will track Heihachi either side type of thing. So it might bait you into getting parried a lot more because, you know, -5, you're probably going to want to jab, you're going to want to retaliate with a kick. So obviously you have to bear in mind with Heihachi's parries and stuff like that as well. So what I'm thinking in this matchup is going to be key for Leo is doing a lot of up forward 3, just as like a kind of safe check that kind of beats a lot of scenarios. And also kind of baiting parries with like slower buttons. I feel like slower buttons in this matchup are really going to be quite effective as well. So like even when they do 1-1, maybe just going for like Bok, like a Bok option. You know, if they don't mash, if they don't, you know, challenge you on their minus frames, then, you know, trying to get something started with like a Bok 3 or something would be very effective in those scenarios. So I'm just going to look at his down forward 1 by itself. Yeah, I just want to kind of see how it kind of tracks, I guess. Seems really nerfed compared to what it was. Like, it's severely nerfed. So, like, those two moves being, like, you know, less apparent is going to make it a lot easier to play against his character up close. Obviously, when he goes into God mode, it becomes a bit scarier with, like, his 1-1-2 and his 1+2 and, you know, things like that because they become, you know, quite buffed. So, trying to avoid him, you know, getting to the position where he's in God mode and, you know, the game becomes almost impossible to win. You know, that's tough, but like fighting the character in general, you know, it doesn't seem completely difficult. Like there's the neutral buttons that are very annoying. Like, you know, FF2 is a move that you have to learn to punish. Like you just have to. Like it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's something that I've definitely practiced a lot during Tekken 7, so it is something that I will, you know, be back to doing in no time. You can also do QCF 1+2, but it is definitely tricky. Same input as the instant while standing free pickup, so if you're someone that, you know, can do stuff like that, then you're not really gonna have to worry. But yeah, definitely not easy to do. As you can see, I am dropping it here and there. But yeah, -16, so you're not gonna be able to get your forward 1+2 off. But yeah, as you can see, punish FF2, QCF 1+2, both punishes. If you block it off axis, forward 2 is a very easy punish, and I'm going to imagine that also down back 2 is a very easy punish as well. Generally, maybe... Okay, so in this game we even have down back 2 as a punish, which is nuts because nothing like this existed in Tekken 7. Look at this. Oh my god, that is unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. Any range. Wow. Down back 2. What a move. Okay, so there's that. There's also this move, forward 1+2, which is a heat engager. It's basically a demon paw, you know, with less range. So Kempo is gonna be, you know, almost a godsend in this matchup because you'll be able to make him whiff and potentially get a full launch in quite a few situations if they, you know, if they tend to go for it quite a lot. And then obviously movement can also be at times as well. If you go to the left, if you go to the right, I believe it's kind of harder. But yeah, it's all about timing really. It's all about timing. You know, it's very easy to change up your timing and realign with a forward input move like that. So, you know, it can be tricky. We have another obviously iteration of Tekken, and Heihachi is back. And I mean, you probably could have guessed it, but he's returned with basically no lows again. Like this low seems alright. It seems pretty decent. -2. I believe it's not launch punishable, so let's just take a look at that quickly. Okay, so -13 punish, and because he's standing, we can also do up forward 1-2, so that might be something that you want to practice doing, just to get the, you know, lightning glare and not basically spend your heat every time you block this low type of thing. So yeah, there's that low. Obviously all of his other lows still exist, but you know, we know how to deal with those. Like, come on, launch punishable, launch punishable, launch punishable, launch punishable, What other lows does he have? I believe that might be it. Launch punishable again. So if you manage to block this low, obviously that isn't a punish anymore in this game. But yeah. So punish. Every low except the low poke is launch punishable basically. So again, Heihachi no lows. And let me just see. Yeah. Even generic low launch punishable as well. So in that department, yeah, I think nothing has really changed going from 7 to 8 in that kind of light. But we're gonna look at one move that is a new move in Tekken 8 just very quickly. So that's back 4. So just how does this move weigh up in this game? So gone to the right. I'm gonna guess that you can't step left versus this move at all. Yep. So this is actually quite annoying because I feel like for the most part you could kind of get around some of his big moves in Tekken 7 by sidewalking left. Things like forward 3. I don't know if the tracking is the same as it was in 7, but this move was really hard to step. And now he has something to kind of, you know, fill that kind of gap, that kind of weakness that he may have had, like that slight weakness. So yeah, back 4, chip damage, counter hit launcher, I-18. You know, this move kind of does so much for Heihachi. It's honestly insane. You know, it's kind of like Leo's down 1 besides, you know, all of the mind games that move has. But, you know, just in terms of speed and counter hit property. So, yeah, that's kind of nuts. Let me check the frames on block. Okay, -8. Okay, let me say it's not like Leo's down 1. But, yeah, so -8. So if they do use it, you know, they put you a bit far away from them. So you don't want to jab because that's just going to set up a free electric for them. You know how crafty these Mishima players are. But if he does that into a backdash as well, so back 4, backdash, I'm going to imagine down forward 4 might whiff. Wow. Maybe he's too... Yeah, I think he's too negative to move. Okay, so... Yeah, just checking with a downward 4 here might not be too bad, but then obviously he can parry with what is it? Back 1+2? Yeah. Okay, so he might do something like this, which is quite annoying because you know you're getting chipped and then he's, you know, forcing a retaliation, and then, you know, all of a sudden heat engager. So yeah, just playing around little things like that could be quite important. Yeah. Overall, just from like you know, everything that we've kind of looked at right now, I would like to, I'd just say, like, you know, his jabs have been nerfed, his down forward one's been nerfed, so I feel like moving around up close against him is a lot more rewarding now. He's forced to use kind of slower moves to kind of track you and things like that. He definitely has a tracking problem. Not completely, you know. He does have a homing high, which is I-14. He no longer has back 4 as far as I can see. So yeah, I think, you know, step blocking a lot. Using Kempo is gonna work with Leo. Down back 3 worked in a few stance scenarios. Obviously, there's gonna be the times where you're gonna want a hop kick. He no longer has down forward 1-2, so you know he's gonna go for other things. Maybe, I mean, he can get a heat engager off. I'm just gonna show you what that looks like quickly. So headbutt into QCF2 is now like a, you know, really good punish that he has. This is his 13 frame, not that, but this is his 13 frame punish. Doesn't wall splat, so when it comes to punishment, he is gonna be... Oh, okay, sorry, nope, I lied. He has a fantastic 13 frame punish, never mind. And it will be wall splatting. So yeah, let me just retract everything I just said just then. But yeah, hop kick isn't terrible. You just don't do it with your back to the wall like a donut and just die. But yeah, you get the point I'm trying to make. You know, upward 3, what I mentioned earlier, is going to be that move that really, you know, stands out in this matchup, because there's going to be a lot of times where he's having to use slower moves, and then for the most part, when you're using upward 3, fair enough, you can lose the movement, but you're not really going to lose much if it's a button versus button interaction. So definitely opt for upward 3s in this matchup. You know, when they go for things like 1-1, down forward 1, try and get an understanding for how to deal with down forward 1, because this is definitely going to be a weird scenario with the fact that you can charge. So yeah, just, I guess you do have to be patient in some light, but Yeah, I still think like let me just see quickly. I'm gonna do the charge and then retaliate with up forward 3 and see what happens. Okay, so it's even fast enough to do something here. And then obviously let's look at the immediate down forward 1-2 and just kind of how it works. So immediate down forward 1-2, 13 frame punish. If you get counter hit, no counter hit rewards, no counter hit property whatsoever. Can't parry, can't power crush, but yeah, it's just not that great really. You know, and if they charge, the up forward 3 is gonna do some damage. I wanna see the perfect input and then we're gonna call the video there. Let's see if we can get that. So okay, so perfect input now. This might be like the in-between, which I understand. I understand. Okay. But this perfect input, what people are really probably going to be going for, can lose to sidestep, right? And you get a full punish. So, okay, definitely, you know, have that in mind. And take advantage of that. Maybe 4-2+3 as well. Yeah, nah, you might be able to use that as well. Which will beat that and it will beat the guard break as well. And it's not bad to go for because down forward 1 by itself is -5. And yeah, it's just an odd mind game really, I guess. But yeah, that's been the video. I feel like Leo's going to be a lot better in this game against Heihachi than they were in 7, just for the fact that down back 2 can punish FF2 so reliably now. So that is a huge reward and very much in our favour. The neutral, obviously us having up forward 3 available, a safe, you know, low crushing move to kind of, you know, take that risk when not trying to get mixed. You know, it's really nice to have. And, you know, Heihachi's lame game of just, you know, down forward 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, you know, it kind of isn't a thing anymore. So I feel like we're going to really hold up well in the neutral. And obviously Kempo's going to be great. The evasive moves are great. Situations when they're plus and they try to do the guard break, down back 3 can win. So we have that, you know, on our side as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to, as the days develop, playing against Heihachi, to see like what we can take advantage of. But yeah, that's been the video. If you like the video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and see you in the next one.